In the sport of surfing, the largest rideable waves in the world are found in the Hawaiian Islands. Since the beginning of modern surfing history, Waimea Bay on Oahu's North Shore has been the ultimate arena for the ultimate challenge. They say that if you could harness the energy of just one of Waimea's waves, you could light up the city of Honolulu for a week. But imagine the adrenaline rush these surfers experience once they've committed themselves to one of these waves. Only the strong and most experienced can hope to survive. The price tag is high for those wanting to surf epic Waimea. The second you leave the beach, the shore break is a ferocious impact zone. To catch one of these giant waves is really a critical split-second decision. If you hesitate, all is lost. Or the drop can be a free fall of terror. You've made the drop, but you're still not safe. You must outrun the monstrous wall of whitewater or be fly swatted into oblivion. The size of a Waimea wave has long been measured in increments of fear. This surfer in his crouch stance is 5 feet tall. we will return with the most amazing surfing event ever. A one-day contest that took 51 days to complete. The classic Hawaiian spirit, the spirit of aloha, was never more evident than in the soul of Eddie Aikau. He was an inspiration to me as well as anyone who was lucky enough to have known him. He's a legend now, but a legend that lives in the hearts and minds of all Hawaiians. In love with people, the ocean, and Waimea Bay, Eddie Aikau surfed the bay like no one else. When he wasn't saving lives as a lifeguard, he was surfing big waves. In March of 1978, 28-year-old Eddie Aikau left Hawaii en route to Tahiti aboard the Polynesian sailing canoe Hōkūleʻa. Just hours into their journey, the canoe capsized in 15-foot seas and gale-force winds. In a valiant effort to save his shipmates, Eddie tried to paddle for help to a nearby island some 20 miles away. Help finally came to the canoe when they were spotted by an aircraft. All 15 crew members were saved. Eddie Aikau was never seen again. Before the contest began, Eddie's peers, 30 of the world's best big wave riders, paddled out into Waimea Bay and paid tribute to the man who loved the surfing life. In the past 10 years, big wave riding has taken a back seat to high-performance surfing. With wipeouts all a part of the game. The North Shore's famous surfing locations each provide a unique surfing experience. Haleiwa Beach Park is not complicated. It's a great place for young and old to cut loose. To perform well at sunset is to earn the respect of the entire surfing world. And no one has yet found a wave that can rival Pipeline's incredible tube. And when all of these spots are too big and unrideable, it's time to go to the bay. When Waimea breaks, it's simply spectacular. If the North Shore could be likened to the Himalayas, then Waimea Bay would be Mount Everest. But Waimea Bay doesn't have big waves every day. It takes a big storm swell for it to become rideable. For the Eddie Aikau Big Wave Invitational, the waiting period began on January 2nd and lasted for 6 weeks. The waves had to be at least 20 feet. I remember the morning of February 5th very well. The surf was 20 to 25 feet and getting bigger. The contest was put on standby. There are all kinds of mixed emotions on the beach. It was both exciting as well as terrifying just thinking about riding those waves. At 9 a.m., officials from the state civil defense closed all North Shore beaches, yet the contest could still happen.
Well, the word we've gotten from the Weather Service and the civil defense is it's supposed to peak about 1 o'clock. And they're expecting, I don't know if regular 30-foot sets, but they said 20 to 30 feet, peaking at 30 feet.
It's too radical to surf. Later on. Not now, it's too dangerous.
Well, I'll tell you, it looks very deceptive right now. It's got almost rideable in between sets. And just when you think you could get away with it, you get out there and die. 30 feet easy.
It's too big to be safe at this time, would be my assessment.
Folks, stay up off the beach, please. The beach is closed today. We have unusually large surf.
No, if they're gonna run a contest, I'll go. Serious, man, it's worth it, bro. I gotta run the contest anyway. It's been waiting too long.
Part of the whole judgment situation in riding big waves is knowing when not to go out. And today's a perfect example. It's just out of control. It's too dangerous for anyone.
But there are sets that come in 30 feet to 35 feet. Now, that's the problem. You know, you don't want to get caught inside of a 35 feet wave, of a 35 feet closeout wave.
On this day, 30 of the world's best big wave riders watched from the beach for 6 hours. And although their objective was to ride the biggest wave, today Waimea Bay was unrideable. The event was postponed. On the final day of the waiting period, February 15th, officials decided to extend the contest to the end of February. Finally, a major storm was forecast to hit the Hawaiian Islands. A low-pressure system that originated near Japan was increasing in strength as it moved across the Pacific Ocean. Then it happened. The fast-moving storm violently struck the North Shore, and just at dusk, the waves were 30 to 40 feet and getting bigger. By daybreak, the damage had been done. 5 houses destroyed, 10 people injured, and millions of dollars in damage. The only good thing about the storm was that it brought in huge rideable surf. Should they go for it?
Go. Eddie would go, I think.
Finally, after 7 weeks of waiting, the contest was on. The challenge of Waimea Bay and to ride the biggest wave. The ancient Hawaiians made Waimea Bay a holy place, and today these sacred waves are worshipped by a handful of highly motivated watermen. I know all of the Waimea Bay surfers. Several of them are very good friends of mine. And yet they all have one thing in common. These guys possess more raw courage than any athlete on earth. Is it courage or insanity that would entice these surfers to challenge these waves?
Man, it's getting big out there, bro.
This contest is supposed to be for big waves. That was a big wave. There was no doubt about it. That was a big wave. And it means that the swell hasn't really dropped, and we're going to be able to have a really good, sizable contest yet.
For the Eddie Aikau contest, they created a free-form opportunity for the competitors. To win, you must successfully ride the biggest wave and put in the day's gutsiest performance.
I'm more afraid when I sit on the beach and just looking out there.
First objective, get through the shore break.
The surfers start here in the corner of the bay and paddle out through the famous Waimea Bay shore break, and then on into deep water where they surf a quarter of a mile from the beach. It may take 3 or 4 attempts just paddling out. Once through the shore break, the real challenge begins. Our first competitor of the day, Tony Moniz, great drop, excellent speed, but consumed by 20 feet of whitewater. Our next rider, Keone Downing, is seen from the helicopter. Keone is a fearless and stylish surfer who loves big waves. But he too is overwhelmed by the Waimea whitewater. Local big wave rider Mark Fu rides his first wave perfectly. And on his second wave, Waimea once again takes its toll. Marvin Foster tackles big waves with reckless abandon. Will he make it? Yeah, great ride. Clyde Aikau, Eddie's brother and the sentimental favorite. Excellent ride. 2 riders up on the same wave, Mickey Nielsen and Alec Cook. Mickey grabs a rail and goes down. Alec Cook is forced to straighten out and crashes into the impact zone. Up and riding Roger Erickson with a horrendous wipeout. Let's look at that again. And how big was that wave Roger took off on?
25 feet.
Is that all?
Solid. Every inch, every foot, every yard. Very big wave.
And what happened to his board down there?
Hit the rocks at the moment of impact. It disintegrated into 3 or 4 pieces, I would imagine, at least.
Pretty big wave. What made you take it?
It was the only wave I could catch. I don't know.
Another horrible wipeout. Mickey Nielsen free falls into disaster. With another look in slow motion, we see Nielsen free falling down the face. A humbling experience. Not only that, his custom big wave board snapped in half. Mickey Nielsen wasn't the only one to break a board in that heat.
Well, I'll tell you, I got, one real nice one, and I was just hanging, waiting for a big one, and a big one came and just worked me, and that's the end result. Whew, I'll tell you what, it was heavy out there. It was really heavy.
I'm trying to catch the biggest waves and trying to do the best I can.
I'm gonna try and catch the biggest wave, which I doubted because I'm scared of. I'll just try and catch the biggest wave. That's about it.
You stay scared.
I stay scared.
Coming up, the young challengers. The boards that the surfers ride are custom made and are anywhere from 9 to 12 feet long. They're often referred to as elephant guns or rhino chasers.
I just think that some of the guys make a mistake by riding a smaller board because there aren't big enough sets.
Bradshaw's right. You do need a big board. However, our 2 youngest contestants have paddled out on the shortest boards in the event, a mere 8 feet long. Rock Little charges down the face of his first wave. And look, for the first time today, the short board allows him greater maneuverability. But will he outrun it? No, Brock is pounded down by the whitewater. Up and riding on the outside, 19-year-old Aaron Napoleon, and he's caught behind the peak and goes down, driven underwater. Let's see how many seconds he's held under. He's being thrashed around like a pair of jeans in a washing machine. His board's up. Where's Aaron? 16, 17, 18, and he's up. That could be the longest 18 seconds of his life. '18-year-old Brock Little, great second wave as he picks up tremendous speed on the face of the wave. Aaron Napoleon tries it again, a huge wave. Will he get crushed like his first attempt? No, he makes it. From left to right, Owl Chapman, Clyde Aikau, and Dwight Obayashi. This 15-foot ocean swell hits Waimea's outer reef and suddenly jumps to a 25-foot wave. Chapman turns out to the far shoulder. Obayashi on the inside and only a couple feet away from Aikau gets eaten. Aikau, with his years of experience, positions himself perfectly. A surfer who excels in big waves, the stylish Owl Chapman, aboard his 12-foot Rhino Chaser, the longest board in the contest. And he makes it. We have a surfer with a lost board in the rip current, dangerously close to the rocks. Swimming against the rip current is nearly impossible. But the camaraderie amongst Waimea surfers is second to none. The surfers' emotions at Waimea Bay range from thrilling to terrifying to thankful. Here's a monster wave no one wanted to ride. Up and riding, Hawaii's Triple Crown surfing champion, Michael Ho.
Oh, a little bumpy out there. I didn't make one wave, so I didn't do too good out there, but I had fun. That was fun. I hope Clyde Aikau gets out there and wins it.
That'd be great.
Once again from our helicopter, Clyde Aikau outruns this Waimea Bay monster. What a great day he's had. And that was the final run of the Eddie Aikau Big Wave Invitational. Let's take a look back at today's competition. The young challengers not only survived, they performed. 19-year-old Aaron Napoleon faced his greatest challenge ever and showed tremendous promise. But it was our youngest competitor, 18-year-old Brock Little, who turned in a remarkable 4th place. But on the other side of the coin, this disastrous wave of Roger Erickson's was easily the worst-looking wipeout of the day. Acknowledged as one of the best contemporary big wave surfers in the world, 32-year-old Ken Bradshaw from Sunset Beach, Hawaii came through with a 3rd place finish. In what seems to be an endless drop, 28-year-old Mark Fu puts his years of big wave experience to the test and receives 2nd place. His success in big waves, especially at Waimea, is due in part to his smooth yet aggressive style. And finally, the crowd favorite and the judges' favorite, Clyde Aikau, the winner. What an emotional ending. Clyde triumphs in the contest dedicated to his brother while riding Eddie's favorite big wave board. Eddie would be proud. Riding at the base of a thundering Waimea wave, Eddie stands comfortable with nature's power and with a grin from ear to ear. Long live the memory of Eddie Aikau.
Standing here talking with George Downing. George, tell us what's going on.
Well, it's the day it's happening, Jack. We've been waiting a long time for it, and it's a beautiful day. The wind conditions are not exactly perfect, but it's good enough. And I think that by the day's end, we're going to see some wonderful surfing here.
It's real challenging. It's going to be real challenging. The chops are coming up the face, so it's going to be, you know, it's that's what it's meant to be, a contest. So it'll be a contest against the elements and the competitors. Real challenging.
I'm glad I wasn't in the inside of that one, that's for sure.
Well, it's pretty bumpy. It's pretty thick. There's some big ones. When you're sitting there, there's some big rollers on the horizon. And when they come in really thick. The drop's nice and steep. Either you're going to be in it and committed, and if you hesitate, I think there's going to be a few over the falls.
Now, if you guys need help, when you're out there, don't be afraid to raise your hand up. Wave. Don't wait till it's too late. Most of you have leashes. We've got the jet ski out there that'll come in and give you a hand. He's going to come in every time. In case you get wiped out, he's coming to your area. Let him know you're okay. Don't let him come in too deep.
No, I'm not wearing a leg rope, not at all.
Why not?
I figure it's a good omen. I don't like cords at all. I want to go fast.
Well, okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Eddie Aikau Quiksilver Big Wave Invitational Surfing Classic here at Waimea Bay. There will be 2 rounds. There'll be the first round, 3 heats of 1 hour time limit. There'll be 10 surfers in each heat. They will then come in and go out again in another round for the Eddie Aikau Quiksilver Surfing Classic. This is the big day at the Bay.
Well, it's really rough and wild out there. And I got me a little safety precaution. Look behind. Got these fins on just in case, you know, I get in trouble or anybody else get in trouble out there. What I can do is either I'll use the fins on them, or I can hand them the fins. And just in case, like when the sets come in, if they're too close, I cannot really get in to hook them up. So what I'll do is throw the fins to them, and they can pretty well get on their own until the sets pass, and they can jump on my back, and I can pull them to safety. But other than that, they're just an extra safety precaution. You know, it's wild. Today is wild. The waves are good, but the inside is wild.
I hope I don't have to do that again. That wasn't much fun at all. But I guess it's pretty safe today. Looks like we're doing it.
Sorry about losing your board?
I don't know. Wait till I see what shape it's in, then I'll tell you. It's a brand new brewer, man. Hard to replace a good brewer.
Dennis Pang, how was it?
It's pretty bumpy out there. It's fun. Even though it's scary, it's fun.
How big?
I'd say easy, 20 feet. Easy. Nothing for the weak.
I made a jump, a long jump, and just go, brother.
I, of course, loved Eddie like all of us did, and today is a day that he would have loved. It's gnarly, it's big, it's a challenge, it's 20 plus. It's tougher than it used to be because the sand has moved in. It's a little shallower now. Of course, the winds are onshore, the currents are bad, and whoever wins this is going to be one hell of a surfer because it's a real challenge.
Stay tuned for more action on the north shore of Waimea Bay, Hawaii. Sunset Beach. Okay, go.
Well, the waves are really big, but the wind's straight on shore, you know, it makes it really dangerous. So, you know, I'm just going out there to try and survive.
We're looking at some awfully big waves out there, Jack.
Having a good time out here. There's some pretty gnarly stuff out there. Can't ask for any bigger waves than this. I'm waiting long enough for them.
I'd like to hold the microphone, and you can take the board out.
I'd like to say thank you from the whole family and myself personally. Mahalo so much, and hopefully we'll see you guys next year.